He said, whatever you can imagine can happen. If you want to talk about a bit of a scary experience, I guess, I used to help Dad a fair bit on the farm, and after the crushing had finished, and because, like I said, we had hills, we had gullies, and there was long dead grass, and we would burn off after the crushing season and burn the grass, and I would help him. He would go down one side and I would go down the other, and we'd have a roll of trash and burn it. And he has one day, and he said, he went down one side and went up the other side. But when I got to the top of the hill, the wind had changed. Oh. And the wind was the blue smoke. I could not see. I did not know where I was. I couldn't see. And I got to the stage where if you've ever been in that situation, your nose is running and your eyes are watering, and I'm crawling on the ground, and I thought, and in the middle of this blue smoke, there was a seat like you had at school. We called them forms, and Dad was sitting on one, and there was another man who I don't know. And obviously they weren't there, but this is what I saw. And Dad said to me, he pointed up the road, he said, sweetheart, if you go straight up there, you'll see the car. And I went straight where he pointed. I got to our old blue ute, Dad sitting in there. He was never in the fire. But that's what saved me. This was our school motto and emblem, Zin Jin, ever onward. And my parents had a sugarcane farm, and we lived in the old like 11 miles from Gin. This is back in the Tane fields. This is actually my mother. So you can see she worked on the farm. They worked hard. The women really worked hard. And you can see that just the end of the horse.
Yeah.
So back in the horse and cart days. And this buggy here, and this is where they used to plough the paddocks with the horses. But I can remember, and I must have only been a toddler, but I can remember them pulling that old buggy and storing it down beside the chook house on the farm.
If you needed a toilet at the night, when you were younger, were you scared to go outside?
Oh, and you always put the foot on a toad, and I couldn't get rid of the feeling. I'd have to scrub my foot and not that there was anything there, but it was just the feeling. You had to sort of left you. Yeah, no, we hated that. Hated the outside.
Did you have like a little candle holder that you would take out with you?
Oh, no, we weren't that far backwards. Somewhere along the line, my mother sort of thought I could do a bit of painting, that I was good at drawing. And she arranged for me to have lessons from, was actually the doctor's mother in town. And it was a bit daunting because they sort of, you had a small town. It's only about 200 houses in Gin then. And they had the biggest and best house up on a hill. And, and I had to walk there after school, and Dad would come and pick me up later. And but she was just the loveliest woman. And she taught me a few things about painting, like this is some of the stuff I did with her, It's a pretty crappy old book. But yeah, that's just some of the stuff. And I used to do all the Christmas cards from Mum.
When you were a kid, did you have like in school, did you have like a dream job or what you wanted to be when you grew up?
When I was school, I thought that I would love to be an air hostess.
Oh, you have to travel. I've been so cool about this.
Yes, that was my dream job. That never happened. The day I left school, which is a Friday, on the Monday I started work at the bank. So there was no celebrations, no schoolies week or anything like that. I just went to work. Yeah. And Yeah, but apart from that, I never really had a, that was it. That's what I thought I'd be. I actually didn't have a clue what I was going to do when I left school. And so I went for an interview for this job at the bank, and I'm walking home from the school bus, and Mum's running down the hill, and she said, "Guess what? Guess what?" And I said, "I got the job." The golden rule. There was always the golden rule, and you probably heard the golden rule. It's always do to others as you would wish them to do to you if you were in their place.